Bonjour, everybody. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 40 on YouTube. I just want to get on here pretty quickly. Um, Wanted to make some picks for the NFL Week 16. Also, predicting the winners of the Christmas special NBA games. 5 games to be on the slate, which does feature the Lakers and Warriors and Bucks and Celtics and Mavericks. Um, Actually, it's really 5 good games actually. So I'll get into that in a little bit. Um, so let's get into it, guys. Um, so week 16, it did actually start already. It started with the Jets and the Jaguars playing in New York, and both teams are trying to get into the playoffs. And well, the Jaguars came out and won 19-3. Trevor Lawrence actually was doing pretty well, and he's getting more confident with every single week, every single game. And it would seem that the Jets don't have a great option at quarterback. They brought back Zach Wilson, who was benched before, and he got benched again in that game. And they had to bring on a another quarterback because Joe Flacco was, I guess he was not available. So you don't have Zach Wilson, you don't have Joe Flacco, um, you don't have Mike White, who's injured. So the Jets had to rely on Mr. Strebler. From what I've heard, I believe he was part of the CFL. So a guy who was probably not planning to get a lot of playing time. He did manage to move the ball around, but I don't think they got any points out of him because for some strange reason, yeah, it was a windy game in New York. And right now, I think America is going through like a big winter blizzard spell. So a lot of places in the United States have been experiencing a lot of low temperature readings and a lot of snow and ice, a little more um, to be, I guess, an inconvenience to a lot of people out there with sub-zero temperatures, especially wind chills. Oh, I do not envy those people at all. So, yeah. So Jaguars with a victory have now moved in within half a game of the AFC South Division title race. Jaguars have been winning their games mostly, and they are now 7-8 with 2 games to go. And the Tennessee Titans have been losing games, I think, 3 games in a row now. Or just yeah, um, just getting blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles, and then losing to the Tennessee Titans lost to the Jaguars actually. And Tennessee and Jacksonville will be playing each other in the last week of the season in a couple weeks, week 18. Also, the Tennessee Titans also lost to the Chargers 17-14. So, um, and that was last week. So it comes to this where Tennessee does have another somewhat tough game. They're playing the Texans this week. Um, ooh, ooh, yawn, yawn, yawn. Anywho, um, Tennessee Titans should beat the Texans, but the Texans have been playing everybody tough. So don't be surprised if the Texans actually win here. And Titans without their quarterback Ryan Tannehill, um, this might be a close game actually, and Tennessee Titans are actually favored by 3 points at home. So we'll see what happens with that. That'll be something to keep tabs on, especially for the Chargers if they're going to be making a surge, and then they need to find out if they're good enough to be the number 5 seed, which means they'll be facing the 4 seed, which is going to be most likely Tennessee or Jacksonville. And I'm leaning towards Jacksonville actually. So, and the Chargers do have some beef with Jacksonville earlier this season with a 38-10 blowout in SoFi Stadium, which is like unbelievable, unheard of, unbelievable. But yeah, it'd be kind of nice to get some revenge on the Jaguars for doing that to us. So, all right, guys. So here are my picks for Week 16. We have the Bills visiting the Bears. It looks like it's going to be 11 degrees. Like kickoff in the morning. So, um, hmm, I would say Bills will beat the Bears. Um, don't see why they would lose, but if for some strange reason they just have a tough, rough start to the game and they let the Bears hang around, well, whew, whew, another yawn. I'm probably gonna go to sleep after this. All right, let's go through this really fast. But yeah, Bills should beat the Bears. Um, Next up, we have the Saints visiting the Browns. Um, I would say Browns should win this one. Um, Plus the fact I actually need both uh, Kamara and Nick Chubbs to do pretty well in this game. Just those 2 players. I mean, technically, I don't really care who wins the game, but I just want those 2 running backs to do well against each other. So, but yeah, I'm feeling Browns will probably win this one. Um, Next up, Titans and Texans. I have a feeling the Titans will win a close one against the Texans. Um, Anywho, I mean, the Texans actually would want to, you know, make sure they get the number 1 pick, and they'll probably pick a quarterback. It might be Bryce Young from Alabama. Uh, Next up, we have Seahawks traveling to the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs got a good handle on this game. So the Chiefs should win convincingly. Next up, we have a good one. It's the Giants visiting the Vikings. I have a feeling Vikings will win this one. Bengals visiting the Patriots. This could be a tough game, but I have a feeling the Bengals will beat the Patriots. Next up, we have Lions and Panthers. Uh, I would say Lions are on a hot streak right now, and they should defeat the Panthers. Um, it's funny that the Panthers at 5-9 are only 1 game out of the NFC, um, the NFC South division title race. That's just crazy because the Buccaneers are 6-8. Ooh, the bar is set pretty low there. All right. Next up, we have Falcons visiting the Ravens. I think Ravens will win a low-scoring game. Next up, we have Commanders visiting the 49ers. I think 49ers should win this one. 49ers defense is just something else right now. So they should be able to keep a lid on the Commanders from taking the lead at all. Or mostly, for most of the game, from taking the lead. So, and then we got Eagles traveling to the Cowboys. Um, Eagles will not have Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is actually one of my quarterbacks in one of the three leagues I'm still alive in. Unfortunately, I think the Eagles are going to go with, what is it? Ooh, ah, Gardner Minshew, I believe. Um, Cowboys should be fully healthy. I think um, the Cowboys should win this one, and I think the Eagles might just give it to them, but the Eagles might make this a very hard game, especially since the Eagles have one of the best Eagles have one of the best receivers in the game, in AJ Brown. Cowboys do have Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, two-headed monster in the run game. Plus, they have CD Lamb. So that one should be an interesting one. So I'm gonna be keeping close tabs on that game. But I do have the Cowboys barely beating the Eagles in this one. And then for the Saturday nightcap, we have the Raiders visiting the Steelers. The game is going to be very cold, probably 10 degrees, or it could be lower than that. I'm picking Steelers to beat the Raiders in this one, and interested. Both teams are 6-8. Uh, there's three games on Sunday. We have the Packers visiting the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins should win that game. They've been on a little mini losing streak. They had lost to the Buffalo Bills and the Chargers, and I guess the 49ers, so they lost three in a row. Um, but yeah, um, speaking of which, I do need Tyreek Hill to do pretty well for the Dolphins on Sunday. And I do need Aaron Rodgers to do well himself too, because since I don't have Lamar Jackson, which is pretty much, I guess, two of my leagues, I have Lamar Jackson that I'm still alive in for the playoffs. But since Lamar Jackson is still hurt and he's going to be kept off the field for the third straight week, which is what was expected for him to be gone for 3 weeks, I had to find quarterbacks to replace Lamar Jackson for at least 1 week into the playoff season. And one of them is Aaron Rodgers. The second guy, I believe, is Jared Goff from the Lions. So hopefully they can do as well as Lamar Jackson somehow. Um, ooh. 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 Another yawn. All right, so another one on Sunday is Broncos visiting the Rams. This one is going to be a very low scoring game. I would want to say uh, the Rams should beat the Broncos in this one, but it's going to be an ugly game. Um, Aaron Donald's actually not going to play for the rest of the year for the Rams, and that's on top of the fact that Cooper Kupp is not playing, and no Matthew Stafford. So, and I don't know if the Broncos are going to be playing their Russell Wilson, but he might play. So, um, but yeah, I think Rams been a very close, low-scoring game. And then we got the Buccaneers and Cardinals. I got the Buccaneers winning in Arizona convincingly, though. And then, of course, we have the Monday Night Football game featuring my Chargers. They're going to be visiting the Indianapolis Colts. And I have the Chargers winning um, winning that game very convincingly, and that may actually clinch the playoff spot for the Chargers. So, uh, let's see. The Chargers were in prime time for the Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football game. Chiefs and Chargers. That was one primetime game. Then the Chargers had played the Chiefs again on Sunday Night Football. Lost to them a second time. Um, Chargers had also played the 49ers. Um, they lost that one, but that was the third primetime game. The Chargers got flexed into Sunday Night Football for the Chargers Miami game. Chargers won that one, so that's the fourth one. Um, and then I'm going to the Rams game on New Year's Day, and that's supposed to be um, a Sunday Night Football game for Week 17. They do have a tendency to get flexed out if it's a bad matchup, but if it's still kind of a good matchup, they'll probably still keep it on the schedule. And technically, because the ticket that I paid for the price of a primetime game. And as of right now, I'm looking at it, the Chargers and Rams game is still slated for NBC on Sunday Night Football at the 5:20 slot. So, and the Chargers are favored by 9 points. Okay, and the Chargers are the home team. So, I'm gonna look forward to this. I already got my shuttle, my parking pass, my ticket for the game. So hopefully it'll be a good January 1st, a good start to 2023. And of course, I like seeing the Chargers in live and win live. So I don't like to watch them when they don't win. So um, honestly, I lost count of how many primetime games the Chargers got. So um, hmm. So what was that? Chargers and Chiefs twice. Chargers and 49ers. Chargers and Dolphins. Chargers and Rams. So that's 5. Am I missing anything else? The Falcons game was not prime time. Cardinals game was not prime time. Texans was not prime time. Oh, Chargers beat the Broncos. I think on Monday Night Football. So I think that was 6. So, the Jaguars game was not on prime time. The Seattle game was not prime time. Uh, so I guess I just counted 6. That's still a lot for one team to be in prime time for 6 national televised games. But as long as the Chargers can win some, I don't mind if they lose some too. But the fact that they won the Chargers in prime time 6 times says, people like to see the Chargers either in person, see how great they are, or they like to see the Chargers lose in national TV. So, whichever, everybody would like their own cup of tea. Their own cup of tea of how they want to watch the Chargers play, either good or bad, win or lose. So, hey, but on Monday Night Football, all eyes are going to be on the Chargers and Colts. So, um, let's count that one more time. Chargers and Chiefs twice. Chargers, Broncos. Chargers, 49ers, Chargers and Dolphins, Chargers and Colts, Chargers and Rams. So that is a total of 7 games in prime time. Yeah. So so those are my picks. Follow them. 11 games on Saturday, 3 games on Christmas Day, and 1 game for the Chargers and Colts. And have fun with that. Make some money off of those. I will probably make some money off of that too. And enjoy yourselves. That's the important part. Um, what else? Oh, so now that we are talking about the NFL football, there were a few games I'd like to highlight from Week 15. Jaguars came back and beat the Cowboys 40-34 in overtime. It looks like Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars are starting to evolve, mature, and they're getting stronger and confident every week. And that was a big letdown by the Dallas Cowboys. Next up, we had a weird game between the Texans and Chiefs. The game was actually went to overtime, and the Chiefs got a little bit lucky. They got a fumble recovery in overtime, and that led to a touchdown to win the game 30-24. Chargers, Titans, that game was placed actually the game was on CBS, I believe. So Chargers coming off a big win over the Miami Dolphins. They played the Tennessee Titans, played a close game, and Justin Herbert to Mike Williams. Deep pass connection with under 30 seconds left in the game. It set up the game-winning field goal for Dicker the kicker. So the Chargers won 17-14 and pushed themselves into the number 6 seed in the AFC playoff race. The reason that was the case because the Miami Dolphins had actually lost to the Buffalo Bills, and the Patriots unexpectedly gave the game away to the Raiders in Vegas. And the way I can describe it, Patriots and Raiders were tied with 3 seconds to go. And the Patriots were 55 yards away from the end zone, and they're not in field goal range. So they ran the ball. As they ran the ball, time had expired, and basically any stoppage would have just meant going to overtime, guaranteed overtime. So as the Patriots ran the ball, they ran from like the 45 of their own field, and they got to the 30-yard line of the Raiders, and Jacoby Myers inexplicably lateral pass the ball back 20 yards to the 50-yard line, where Raiders Chandler Jones, basically I guess you could say as a fumble recovery, but I consider it to be like a fumble intercepted pass recovery. And in doing so, Chandler Jones did a stiff arm in the face of Mac Jones, the quarterback of the Patriots, into the ground, and then Chandler Jones ran for 50 yards to the end zone for the game-winning touchdown off of a fumble recovery touchdown return. So Raiders won. That was unbelievable. It kind of kept the Raiders alive. So, but yeah, it moved the Patriots down out of the playoff picture for the time being, and it moves the Miami Dolphins to 7 from 6, and the Chargers move from 8 to 6. Dolphins, yeah, I mean, I meant to say move from 6 to 7, but Patriots for 7, they're 8th now. and the Chargers from 8th place, they jumped to 6th. So I really do hope the Chargers catches the Baltimore Ravens before the season's over, because Ravens and Bengals are playing each other, and I think the Bengals will beat the Ravens and clinch the AFC North division title. And in doing so, the Chargers will probably beat the Colts. The Chargers will probably beat the Rams, the game I'm going to. And of course, the Chargers should beat the Denver Broncos. Chargers have the 3 easiest games left on their schedule out of all the teams. And with that, I think the Chargers might capture the number 5 seed, which would mean the Chargers will be playing the 4 seed, which is the weakest division winner, which is projected to be Tennessee Titans or the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, what I can think of was Minnesota Vikings were down 33-0 at halftime to the Indianapolis Colts. And the Colts somehow managed to give up the lead, blown it, and the Vikings won. What was it, 39-36? So Matt Ryan was the quarterback of the Colts. So he is now the owner of the record of the biggest blown lead in NFL history at the mark of 33 points, and to allow a team to come back from 33 down and win the game. So Matt Ryan is part of that history, and Matt Ryan was also the on the losing end of the biggest Super Bowl lead blown in NFL history, when it was 28-3, Falcons leading the Patriots and Tom Brady. And Matt Ryan was on the other side, and the team that he's on gave up a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, and the Patriots won in overtime. What was it, 34-28? So Matt Ryan was there for both, and he's going to hold that with him. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but that's the new history now. So yeah. So yeah, that's all I can talk about for football for now. Can't wait for the football games tomorrow and see how everything's gonna pan out. So um, what else? Oh, um, the NBA schedule. There's 5 games. So the NBA tends to have a lot of games on Christmas, and let's see what we got. Oh yes, so we got the Sixers playing the New York Knicks. That one's gonna be a good one because New York Knicks have been on fire lately, and the Sixers have been doing pretty well up until now. Um, I think, hmm, you know, I think the New York Knicks might actually win here against the Philadelphia Sixers. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Lakers visiting the Dallas Mavericks. Both teams have been kind of struggling in a way. Um, Lakers just lost Friday night at home to the Charlotte Hornets. Um, I think it was 134, 130. Um, right now, the Lakers are without Anthony Davis, who's going to be gone for at least a month or so. Foot problem, another injury, and LeBron and Westbrook kind of has to carry the team. Uh, I mean, I want to say Lakers will win in Dallas against Luka Doncic, but it's gonna be a close game though, and the game is actually at 11:30 on ABC, ESPN, and I would say Lakers will beat the Mavericks in a very very close game. It might come down to the very last possession. Next up, we have the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics in Boston, and um, I would say Milwaukee Bucks will beat the Boston Celtics. Um, Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies visiting the Golden State Warriors. Should be a good one. There will not be Steph Curry in this one though, but there is John Morant and Klay Thompson. I would say the Memphis Grizzlies will beat the Golden State Warriors, our defending champions. Next up, we have the Phoenix Suns playing the Denver Nuggets. I would want to say the Denver Nuggets will beat the Phoenix Suns in this one. So those are my picks for the NBA Christmas. Um, Watch those games. You're starting from 9 a.m. and it's going to end at um, around 10 p.m. So you got yourself 13 hours of NBA basketball. That'll be fun. This is actually going to be a good weekend. So, so that's about it for NFL football and NBA basketball. I just want to, I guess, kind of finish with talking about comedy shows I've been to lately. I did go to the Mic Drop again. I went to see Jennifer Sterger. I'm a big fan of hers, and I guess it was our first time at the Mic Drop. So, um, as the headliner, I think Jennifer Sterger did pretty well. I would say she was 8.3 out of 10. Um, Got to take a picture with her, got to talk to her for a little bit. She's super nice, and she's into sports, and she can be a girly girl sometimes too. But I mean, that's a good combo, right? But yeah, it was really cool getting to talk to her, and it's just the fact that she does recognize me does make me feel very great about myself. So, and then see, the host of the night was Colton Harpy. I thought his stand up was I would say 7.9 out of 10. Um, Stuff about being looking like a steroid user and getting attitude from a 16-year-old at the grocery store, and stuff about pornography. So, but he's a cool guy though. Got to talk to him about the show. Fun guy. Who else was on the show? Oh, Camille Waters was on. She did pretty well. She's getting funnier each time I see her. I thought she was like a 8.4 out of 10. Um, Funny stuff.